Imagine walking into a forest where every tree hides a secret, where silence feels louder than thunder, and where once you enter, the wild never lets you go. This isn't just a story of survival, it's a terrifying history of people who vanished without a trace. Some say it's the curse of the land, others believe the forest itself is alive. But one man, Ethan Walker, lived to tell the tale, and what he discovered will haunt you forever. Tonight, we dive deep into the shadows of the wilderness. Welcome to Lost in Wild, the movie where reality feels stranger than nightmares. The story begins with silence. A deep, unsettling silence that hangs in the air like a warning. The screen fades in on a wide shot of the wilderness, endless trees, towering mountains, and a sky covered in dark, heavy clouds. It is beautiful, but in that beauty lies danger, the kind of danger that man is never prepared for. This is not just a story of survival. This is the story of one man, Ethan Walker, who found himself face to face with the most merciless force on earth, the wild itself. Ethan was not an adventurer or a soldier. He was a simple photographer from Chicago, a man whose greatest love was capturing the colors of nature through his camera lens. When his friends invited him for a hiking trip into one of America's most unexplored forests, he saw it as an opportunity to find inspiration. None of them knew this trip would soon blur the line between life and death. The journey began with laughter and joy. Ethan and his 4 friends carried music, snacks, and enough confidence to think they could handle anything. The forest welcomed them at first. Sunlight danced on leaves, rivers sparkled, and every step felt like a postcard moment. But the deeper they went, the more the forest began to change. The air grew heavy, shadows stretched longer, and the trail markers disappeared. By the time they realized their GPS had stopped working, they were already lost. Night fell with a cruel storm. Rain lashed against their makeshift tents. Thunder shook the ground, and fear crept into their hearts. Ethan, trying to remain calm, assured his friends that it was only temporary. "It's just one night," he whispered. "Tomorrow we'll find the way back." But deep inside, even he felt the forest closing in, as if it were alive, waiting for them to make a mistake. The following day, food began to run low. Their cheerful conversations turned into silence. Every branch snapped, every rustle of leaves sent shivers down their spines. The forest wasn't empty, it was watching. One of Ethan's friends swore he saw a figure moving between the trees. Another claimed to hear faint whispers in the wind. Fear, once hidden, now grew with every passing hour. Tension turned into conflict. Accusations flew as hunger gnawed at their bodies and minds. "You led us the wrong way," one shouted. "We should never have come this far." And in this chaos, the first tragedy struck. Daniel, one of the group, stormed off into the night after a heated argument. By morning he was gone. They searched everywhere, calling his name, combing the undergrowth, but there was no sign of him. It was as if the forest had swallowed him whole. Ethan felt guilt clawing at his heart. He was the one who tried to lead them back, and yet his decisions had failed. But survival gave no time for mourning. They needed water, food, and shelter. Using his camera tripod, Ethan fashioned tools. They collected rainwater, trapped small animals, and built weak shelters from branches. But every day felt like a battle, not just against nature, but against themselves. Their humanity was slipping away. On the 7th day, as the group weakened, they discovered strange carvings on the bark of trees, symbols that looked ancient, almost ritualistic. Ethan recognized them from a book he once read, markings of a forgotten tribe who believed the forest was sacred and cursed outsiders who dared to cross its heart. Suddenly, the shadows and whispers felt more real. Were they alone? Or was something ancient protecting this land? Their hope began to die with the second disappearance. Sarah, the kindest among them, vanished without a sound one night. Ethan woke to find her sleeping spot empty, her belongings untouched. Panic set in. 2 gone, 3 left. And the forest darker than ever. As days stretched into weeks, the remaining group grew weaker. The line between sanity and madness blurred. At one point, one of Ethan's friends tried to eat poisonous berries in desperation. Ethan stopped him, but he could see the wild stripping away reason, turning humans into animals. To survive, Ethan made the hardest choice. He gave up his own share of food to keep the others alive. His compassion kept him human, but also pushed him closer to death. One evening, while searching for firewood, Ethan stumbled upon a cave hidden deep within vines. Inside, the smell of death hit him first. His flashlight revealed bones, torn clothes, and personal belongings of people long gone. Dozens of them, families, hikers, all lost to the same forest. The horror was clear. This was not the first time the wilderness had claimed lives. It had been happening for generations. By the third week, Ethan was the last one left. His friends had either vanished or fallen to exhaustion. Alone, starving, his body weak, Ethan used his camera to record his thoughts. His final messages weren't about escape, they were about memory. He wanted someone to know what happened here. That the forest wasn't just trees and rivers. It was alive. It chose who stayed and who vanished. Then came the turning point. While crawling through the undergrowth, barely conscious, Ethan heard the distant roar of rushing water. Summoning his last strength, he followed it. His eyes widened as he stumbled into a clearing, and saw a river cutting through the wilderness. And on the other side, men. Rangers. His broken voice cried for help before collapsing. When Ethan awoke, he was in a hospital bed. He was alive, rescued, but not free. His body had escaped the forest, but his mind never would. He told the authorities about his missing friends, about the cave, the carvings, the shadows. Yet when the rangers went back, they found nothing. No cave, no symbols, no belongings, not even footprints. The forest had erased every trace. The news called it a miracle. Ethan Walker, the man who survived the wild. But behind the cameras and interviews, Ethan's eyes held a terror no one else understood. At night, he replayed his camera recordings. And in one clip, just before Daniel's disappearance, something chilling appeared in the background. A tall, dark figure, half hidden among the trees, with glowing eyes locked directly on the lens. The movie ends with Ethan staring at that footage, tears in his eyes. He whispers, "It's still out there," and the screen fades to black. Conclusion: Lost in Wild is not just a survival story, it's a psychological nightmare, a haunting reminder of how powerless humans are in the face of nature's secrets. It blends raw emotion, suspense, and the feeling of ancient mystery. For audiences, it leaves a single burning question: was it just the wilderness, or something far older and darker that controls it?